It's like the scientific community. It's like getting
Peer reviewed, maybe?
yeah, right. So it's all his peers taking him to the cleaners or whatever. But anyway, hoflation is a term that this one guy came up with. And again, it's the idea that much like monetary inflation, there's an inflation of or rather a loss of the quality of women, which is very apparent, along with the effort that must be put in to obtain said woman of low quality.
Yeah, you got to work your ass off for something that's lowbrow.
Right. It's bullshit. And so much like that system, you're saying it's not going to die off of natural causes. I agree with you. But that's the other thing, is it is going to die off of natural causes, because the natural cause of paying people too little for a job that they don't want to do is that they're not going to work that job. If they're going to say to themselves, I can do something else. It's like Les Mis. When somebody, or even when Jean Valjean, right? He's let out of the system, right? He's out of the prison system. And they're like, okay, now you go live in the world, and he has to go find a job, work so that he can live.
Right.
And he can't find a job anywhere. Because they're like, oh, you're a criminal, blah, 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 blah. He's just, passed off. Now, this is sort of a different situation because he, again, was a criminal. They're actually much more tolerant of criminals in our society, but regardless. The idea is, he goes out, tries to find a job, can't find a job, stops in a monastery, they're really nice to him. But where does his mind go? His mind goes, they got all this silver, I can't find a job. It was really nice that they were kind to me, but I gotta keep moving, I guess. Whatever his psyche was thinking at the time, like, I can't stay because XYZ, I have to keep moving, I have to find a job. But at the same time, he's thinking to himself, well, what's something easier that I can do that'll help me survive? Because our basic instinct is survive. So, whatever that happens to entail at whatever time. Sleep, food, sex in order to reproduce, etc.
Wait, sex is for reproduction? I thought it was just for recreation.
Yeah, that too, though. Because there is something behind that.
All right, so go back to Jean Valjean, because he stole the silver.
So his base instinct kicked in, and he said, I need to survive. Now, the best way for me to survive isn't to go out there and find a job. The kids these days are thinking the exact same fucking thing. They're thinking, my parents, right, get this, and this is especially true amongst the rich, my parents pay for blah, 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 blah without me having to put in a whole lot of effort. Now, an intelligent person who wants to live comfortably, which is everyone, not necessarily the intelligence, but the live comfortably part.
I was going to say.
But regardless, there is some intelligence to that, because even if you're stupid and you choose the easier path to make more money, which if in your case is, I just laze around and mommy and daddy pay for everything, you're not stupid. You do have some intelligence. You are in a sense smarter than the rest of them, because all these people that are intelligent and hardworking are going to go out there and do some stupid shit for less money. And so the natural collapse is going to come because the rich stayed rich, their kids don't want to work, and everybody else is watching them eat the fat. And just like every other fucking movie where or any sense of human fucking shit me.
Sound like me.
Like human reason is gonna say, well, fuck the king. If he's, fuck Prince John and Robin Hood or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, taxes, aha. Robin Hood's gonna, well, not necessarily one man.
Serpent.
It's gonna. But
oh no,
there's gonna be
snakes don't crawl.
Right,
they slither.
Right, yeah. So there's going to be a semi-natural collapse of the system eventually, because in order to, there's going to have to be one of two things is going to have to happen. The system is going to have to change, because I've seen for hiring signs, I've seen hiring for all position signs
Right.
for like a year and a half.
Right.
That is not going to stop. So maybe even one of three things is going to happen. One, the system is going to change in order to fit the fact that they are not compensating people well enough. Like I'm making right now, what I'm making is like comfortable.
Yeah. But if you could make what you're making, if you could make doing Uber exactly what you're making doing that, would you change?
I would fucking change it immediately, because again, I'm one of those people that's like, because plumbing is not my dream.
Work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. Work smarter, not harder. None of the people, and in fact, none of the people that I work with, none of it, not a single one of my coworkers would plumb if they could do what they wanted, or even something easier, in order to accommodate the hobby or the thing that they actually want to do.
Yeah, yeah. Man, if I got paid for sitting on a couch eating potato chips, I'd do that.
Right, exactly. So,
But instead, I got a plum.
Exactly. So in that sense, there is going to be a collapse of the system in either that way, or they're going to have to create just enough of a motivator, right? Because again, they tried it. They tried a little bit of it. They were like, okay, well, let's raise minimum wage to 15. You know what minimum wage should be right now?
Yeah, you know what?
40.
I'm making less now. I have been making less than Grammy made in the 80s.
Well, but that's the other thing. So that's the tertiary factor. Somebody broke that down as well, not just the inflation thing, but they also broke down again the timeline of inflation of currency, which, if you ask me, also has a lot to do with the fucking quality of women. But anyway, I digress.
You think monetary inflation has to do with the quality of women?
Yes, of course. Women don't want love; they want money.
Well, how does women wanting money devalue the dollar?
It doesn't devalue the dollar. The devaluing of the dollar devalues the quality of woman that you were going to get, because they're going to say to themselves, they're always going to look at. Now, again, emotional safety actually does factor, but at the same time, they really don't. They want things, not love. And even emotional safety isn't love. It's just,
isn't there a song like that?
Yeah, there is. So just like hoflation, inflation has been operating the same way. There has been an asking for more, even out of flipping fucking cheeseburgers for less money. Because the value of things has gone up, but wage hasn't, which is exactly how they explained it in school. I remember when I was.
Yeah, but see, you and I didn't raise the value of those products.
No, I know.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey. What are you guys standing still for?
We were waiting for you guys.
Oh, okay, here we go.
We thought you were going to take our picture.
Are we going the right way?
The cameraman. Documentary. When you find our bodies later, you'll be able to identify.
Oh my God.
That's it.
He's funny as shit. He's good. He's got a good sense of humor. What was I saying? So, no, you're right. So first of all, that's the thing, is that you and I didn't raise the value, obviously, because it's, the people who own the shit. They're like, oh, we'll just charge more because we have the brand name and everybody.
Well,
wants
that's
this
it,
shit, right?
That's
Yep.
it,
Yep.
right?
So even like, it's kind of, I kind of hate it, but even for me, like, sometimes I'm like, I'll buy this lower quality thing that I know is going to last me longer. I mean, shit, I paid like $100 some odd for both of these pieces of jewelry, but it's stainless steel. It's not going to break, and that's kind of the point.
Is that
right
gold
now.
plated or is that just faux?
It's just faux. But that's the other thing, is like, but I'm paying for something that I know is going to last. But I'm not going to buy like somebody's, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to fucking Gucci, right? I'm going to go to Ross or, it's the fucking song that Macklemore wrote. I've only got $20 in my pocket, and one of the lines goes, that Gucci's hella tight. Yeah, but that's $50 for a t-shirt. And then he goes into this little beat, and he goes, I call that getting swindled. I call that getting tricked by business. Like you're just fucking, you're wearing a t-shirt made of cotton for $50 fucking, and that's stupid as shit.
Right.
Because I can go to Ross and find the same fucking shirt that somebody threw away.
Yeah, but it's only stupid if you're poor. If you're rolling, then spending $50 on a t-shirt is like spending $5.
And I understand that. But the funny thing is, you could still get this, right? Like, and it's interesting because somebody who grew up like Pap, right? Okay, grew up poor, right? They're gonna go to Ross and find that same shirt and be like, I'm still rolling in it. And by the way, I only paid $5 for this one. You know what I mean? Like,
I get you. Yeah, I get you.
It would be more reasonable to say like sure, you're paying for the convenience because you go to Gucci and you know you're gonna find Gucci. Like, okay, great, cool, whatever, man. You're just paying for the convenience. I get it. But I started taking notes out of my coworkers' books. Somebody mentioned, they're like, hey, there's this website where you can get tools for cheaper. Or even Sydney. Even Sydney was like, well, we can buy it cheaper here. And I'm like, all right, do that then. Like, I like that. I've just got a bazillion other things on my mind half the time.
Well, but
so
see, the question is, in your example, when Pap goes to Ross or whatever, does he get an actual Gucci shirt, or does he just get a shirt that he's happy with?
So there's another difference there, is that you could either A, get a shirt that you're just happy with, like you said, which is usually what I end up doing when I go to a thrift store, or you could be looking for something in particular and say, well, it's not here, I'm just going to go home, right? But then you don't go to Gucci and buy Gucci or Louis Vuitton. You just fucking go home and put on your other t-shirt. Like, really, man, just, you know? But again, like, there's so many other factors there, but in the larger picture of the products getting raised, the prices getting raised on products, and the wage staying the same, I remember, because, and somebody else actually brought up another good point, is like, why don't they teach the Declaration of Independence in schools? I wonder why. Maybe it's because they don't want people to know what their rights are. Which, you know, I've been thinking that I should read, like, very thoroughly, because I read the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, I mean, classical schools are a step up from public schools, but it's still a matter of not even really thinking through the ramifications, because I remember thinking, I don't know how young I was, but I think it was maybe Grandma Rom or somebody telling me something about inheritance tax. Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck? This is a family heirloom. Yep. And you're going to tell me that I owe you a fucking piece of something that belongs exclusively to me? But see, I didn't even think about how that then goes into every other area that they've got their fingers in our back pockets.
What does that tell you? If they have their hands and their fingers in the pie of your grandparents, then what don't they have their fucking fingers in?
Exactly.
They own everything.
Yep.
They own that stone, this one, that one, that bush.
This land is my land. This land is my land.
Right, exactly. So, and that's the funny part, right? Is like, one would say, oh, they stole this land, they stole this land from the Indians. Yeah, okay. And then they stole it from everybody else.
Yep.
First they stole it from the Indians, and then they were like, well, let's take it from everybody else too.
Man, I wish I could cue up Bad Religion's song, The Empire Strikes Back, or The Empire Strikes Last, or something like that.
You could do that if you knew how. Or if I knew how.
Well, technically, if you knew how, of course, if I knew how, I could do it. No, but I don't think it can be done.
There is the capability to do that, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so look, I'm recording right now, but there's no way I could pull up another app to play a song and have what I'm recording record the song.
I'll bet you're wrong.
I don't think our smartphones are that smart, broski.
You're behind.
Really?
Yep.
Who's behind?
I'm not even good at nope. So anyways.
Just listen to this, man.
Shit. But anyhow, the no, I do enjoy it.
Oh, this is beautiful, dude.
But enough of that babble.
So, that was funny.
Yeah, see, I knew you were gonna.
That was a good one.
Even though it's really simple. What was I saying? So currency, right? It's gonna collapse in either those two ways, or get this, fucking China and
Here, come on this
fucking
side.
China and Russia. Fucking China and Russia.
So the microphone's facing
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Just I don't know what the fuck they did with their paperwork, but they're about to be the main. You know why the fucking oil's going back up again now? Because they're the fucking currency for that shit now. China and Russia.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
See, the thing about it, man, right? We have so many business models that we lose sight of. I'm going to try to make this make sense. What you just said about China and Russia, I'm going to say it this way.
Yeah.
What the fuck do I care about Taco Bell and McDonald's?
Okay.
Like, simply because YouTube businesses,
Yeah.
like, if I
You
don't...
said two.
Yeah, right. China's
all.
a business and Russia is a business.
Yeah, yeah.
So what the hell is it my concern what you guys do as a business, right? Oh, well, like you could just say to me, Dad, didn't you just hear me end? I told you about oil, right? The oil prices are going up. I'm like, yeah, if it weren't a monopoly, I could go somewhere else and get cheaper oil. But I can't because it's all a fucking monopoly.
Right, so capitalism is actually the death of pretty much everything.
No. Commercialism is the death of capitalism.
Well,
because
but
competition in selling your wares, that's perfectly fine.
Well, but that's like people saying that communism is poison. It's not actually. People are poison, and somebody
Right.
at the top,
Yeah.
somebody at the top with everything is always poison in any system.
Right.
Give it capitalism. Give it, and that's the funny thing is that they'll and when I say they, I mean just larger corporations, whoever the fuck is at the top in general, will demonize the fuck out of something that could work if they would just step down off that shit.
Yeah.
Demonize that shit. They're like, communism, that's bullshit, right? Or, well, see, but like,
Well,
they demonize
isms
capitalism because it's too close to America, right? Because it originated, quote unquote, here. But then that was the broken part of capitalism in general. In the first place, is there's not even room to say there's not even room to say that capitalism was never designed to be that way in the first place. Capitalism was designed to be a system where someone sits at the top.
So right, exactly, dude, exactly. Hold on, man. You're firing on all pistons right now, man. Look. So think about Tumbleweed, Oklahoma, right? Mm-hmm. We are a family in a community back in the day in Tumbleweed, Oklahoma.
Yeah, okay.
And I create, or let's say I open a hardware store,
Okay.
right? Now, as I open the hardware store and I start out with low prices. Everybody comes in, oh, this is great, low prices, low prices, low prices. Then I start to creep the prices up and up and up and up because I'm like, ooh, this is easy money. Like, I didn't need to increase my price because prior to increasing my price, I was making enough money to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. But if people start going to the bar and going, oh man, that Travis Finley keep fucking raising his prices. What are we gonna do? And then Cletus at the end of the bar says, well, I can make my own hardware store and sell it for less. Right? That wouldn't have happened if I weren't a dick. If I kept my prices low, they wouldn't need to compete.